बघा हा.
अरे बापरे, मी कोण? तुमचं थांबल्याशिवाय मी काही तोंडात नावाक्षर नाही काढणार.
चला सुरू करा नाही डॉक्टर.
हो, अथर्व तयारी झाली?
हो मॅम, आपण लाईव्ह आहोत, तुम्ही सुरू करू शकता.
ओके. नमो नमः. स्वागतम सर्वेभ्यः. Good morning everybody. On behalf of the Sanskriti Samvardhan and Sanshothan Pratishthan, I heartily welcome you all to this concluding session of the Sanskritotsav, and I am sure it is definitely going to be a mark of fulfillment in the minds of all of us who have been enjoying this intellectual feast for the last 1 month. At this gathering, I extend a warm welcome to the Honorable President of this Pratishthan, Sri Dilip Karambelkar ji, the Executive President, Dr. Kala Acharya, who is also the guest speaker today, you know. I also extend a warm welcome to our valued guests, Dr. Gauri Mahulikar, Dr. Lalita Namajoshi, Dr. Sri Ram Agashe, Dr. Kanchan Mande, Dr. Deepak Bagadia, Ruchita Rane, and many more, whose presence has certainly kept our spirit and enthusiasm high throughout this journey. I also welcome the viewers who are joining us in great number through social media like Facebook and YouTube Live. And now, I would like to introduce today's speaker. It's my immense pleasure and also a great honor to introduce an eminent scholar of global fame, Dr. Kala Acharya, who is also my guru. Dr. Kala Acharya is the former director of KJ Somaya Bharatiya Sanskriti Peetham, Mumbai, which is a cultural and research institute since its inception in 1989. She is a versatile Sanskrit scholar with outstanding merit. She has received 4 gold medals, including the Chancellor's Medal for MA in Sanskrit. She was awarded PhD by Mumbai University. Kala Acharya is a recipient of the prestigious President's Award, Government of India, for her remarkable contribution to the field of Sanskrit language. Dr. Acharya has also been awarded a gold medal by the President of Kazakhstan for her significant contribution to the Congress of the Leaders of World and Traditional Religions and substantial contribution to the interreligious dialogue in 6th Congress of the Leaders of World and Traditional Religions held at Astana, Republic of Kazakhstan on 10th October 2018. The gold medal is titled as Spiritual Light, which in itself is very much significant of her wisdom. Dr. Kala Acharya was also awarded 2 more medals and certificates from the President of Kazakhstan in 2017 too, for her contribution to interfaith dialogue and to the Secretariat for the Congress of the Leaders of World and Traditional Religions. She has attended the Congress as a Hindu representative in 2003, 2006, 2009, 2012, 2015, and in 2018. She has been appointed as a member of G Global, dedicated to the formation and strengthening global tolerance and trust by the Congress of Leaders of World and Traditional Religions as part of the communication platform. Dr. Kala Acharya has also been honored with the title Mahamahopadhyaya by Kavi Kulaguru Kalidas Sanskrit University, Ramtek, Nagpur in August 2012. She has been honored as Sanskrit Pandita, outstanding Sanskrit scholar, in 1994 and was also awarded with the Best University Teachers Award for the year 2010-11 by the Government of Maharashtra. Her literary contribution includes the edition of a book the Concept of God in Indian Medieval Philosophy, along with Dr. Mariano Iturbe. It has been published by the University of Navarra, Spain, in Spanish language. In this book, she has contributed two chapters on the philosophy of Shankaracharya and Nimbarkacharya. Apart from this, she has edited 20 more books on topics such as religion, philosophy, culture, comparative religion, and Sanskrit language. She has contributed a very scholarly introduction to Jnaneshwari, Pathway to Liberation, written by Felix Machado, Archbishop of Vasai. She is the author of well-received books, Buddhanusmriti, a glossary of Buddhist terms, and also Puranic concept of Dana. Two of the books edited by Dr. Kala Acharya, Indian Philosophical Terms, Glossary and Sources, as well as Tridala, a trilateral dialogue, were selected for the World Book Fair at Frankfurt and South Africa, respectively. She has contributed as a writer as well as an editor of the Hindu Christian Dictionary, Essential Terms for Interreligious Dialogue, a joint publication of KJ Somaya Bharatiya Sanskriti Peetham and Pontifical Urbaniana University, Vatican City. Also, she has contributed as an editor of the book Universal Brotherhood Through Yoga. This book is a collection of articles on yoga by experts in various fields from India as well as from abroad. The book was released on 21st January 2019 in a function jointly organized by Somaya Vidya Vihar and Vivek Samuha at Vignan Bhavan, New Delhi, by the august hands of Honorable Shri Venkaya Naidu ji, Vice President of India, and uh, माननीय सरसंघ चालक राष्ट्रीय स्वयंसेवक संघ डॉक्टर श्री मोहनजी भागवत. Kala Acharya has to her credit more than 51 research papers presented in national and international seminars. She is a recognized PhD guide of the Mumbai University. 17 of her students have already received the PhD degree. She has also performed as the coordinator for Yoga Vijnana Jnana Mandal for Maharashtra Rajya Marathi Vishwakosh Nirmiti Mandal, Government of Maharashtra. And at the last, but not the least, as a mark of an exceptional honor in her case, I have to mention here that she was specially invited to Vatican to attend the inauguration of the pontification of His Holiness Pope Benedict XVI on 24th April 2005. She has also received the private audience of His Holiness Pope Francis in March 2014 and November 2014. With this, I conclude with her introduction and request her to start her speech. Her topic today is the Purusharthas and their contemporary relevance. It is actually the concept of Purushartha in the Hindu culture that has given a drive to our life. Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha, all these Purusharthas have their definite implications on the entire span of it, and even beyond that, as we believe. It is actually the means of shaping our life for the well-being of personal life as also that of the entire society, of which we are a responsible part. It is a fact that the righteousness in all the acts throughout the life is the underlying principle of all the Purusharthas, and exactly the same is also the underlying principle in all our acts in relation with the community living, the global living. So the pursuit of these Purusharthas with right notion has become more relevant in today's world scenario, especially when the corruption and the exploitation and the insensibility towards others' interest or problems have become the dogma of the current age. Let us all welcome Dr. Kalacharya to throw more light on this particular aspect. So over to you, madam.
वागर्थव्यो संपृक्तो वागर्थ प्रतिपत्ते जगत पितरो वंदे पार्वती परमेश्वरो. आदरणीय दिलीपजी करंबेळकर, गौरी माहुलीकर, रंजना नायगावकर, and all those dignitaries who are present here. My topic has been already described, that the concept of Purushartha and its contemporary relevance. This age of science and technology, the age of material progress resulting in consumerism, has brought us face to face with a moral and ethical dilemma in the global economy, where markets are driven by monetary considerations of gain in terms of prosperity, the good expected of globalization, that is share and care. The values that set the norms for ideal human life are overshadowed by the exploitation of the weak. Hedonism has taken the place of lifestyle with moderate needs. With all amenities and comforts at command, the human society is not free from struggle for survival. Should we not ask ourselves if we are happy with all the material gain that we have to our credit? Is it not a fact that the human hearts have failed to come closer in harmony? Is it not true that our lifestyle of comfort strips someone of the basic needs? Is it not a fact that our selfishness and insatiable greed, man is adopting fair or foul means to attain the desired goal? The scenario should lead us to introspection. Can we change the world for a better future? What can we draw from the wisdom of the great seers of India that we can offer to the world as saving wisdom? In this context, we can refer to the concept of Purusharthas, the fourfold aim of human life, as a key to redemption of the crisis. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha are considered as the aims of human existence, Purushartha. It is believed that teachings of Prajapati were divided into Dharma, Artha and Kama, and they were furthered by Manu Swayambhuva, Brihaspati and Nandi, who composed texts on Dharma, Artha and Kama respectively. Purushartha is a compound word, a samas. Purusha means man and Artha means goal. We find this word mentioned in the Yoga Sutras in a very different context, in the sense of four Purusha or Purusha. Frankly speaking, there is a difficulty to dissolve the compound, which I am aware of, whether it should be Purushayam according to Panini's Sutra, Chaturthi, Tadarthartha, etc. However, I am not going into it. Among the Purusharthas, Dharma, Artha and Kama taken together are called Trivarga, a triad. To this triad, moksha or liberation is added. Vishnu Purana speaks about four Purusharthas. It says, Dharmartha Kama Mokshasya Purusharthaha Udavrutaha. By dharma is meant an essential quality or nature of a thing, universal law governing the cosmos, that is Ruta, law of the state, virtue, right conduct, religious rituals, moral law, and also social law, and also duty. The term dharma comes from the root dhru, to hold. It indicates acting in accordance with the scriptural teachings, the laws of society, one's own conscience, and nature. It is a duty prescribed in accordance with sex, caste, status, and is therefore not the same for everyone. Dharma is an instrument for fulfillment of moksha, the fourth and the ultimate Purushartha. Radha Krishna says, Dharma is not a religious creed or cult imposing an ethical or social rule. It is the complete rule of life, the harmony of the whole man who finds a right and just law of his living. Ethical life is the means to spiritual freedom as well as its expression on earth. Duty, law, and virtue are the dimensions of dharma. It will be interesting to see how Acharya, the author of Kama Sutra, explains dharma. He says, I quote, Dharma is to live outwardly by obeying the word of the Vedas. For instance, by performing sacrifices and forsaking meat. Inwardly, by practicing the yoga text and being in the association of great teachers. Desha, that is place, Kala, time, and Patra, that is the capacity of an individual, are the components that decide the nature of dharma. The Mimamsa Sutras, Athato Dharma Jignasa and Chodana Lakshanorpo Dharma, say, then therefore begins the inquiry into dharma. Dharma has, according to Mimamsa, according to this definition, dharma has a characteristic of being in the form of a Vedic injunction or precept. In this sense, dharma refers to Vedic rituals. तत्रापि चोदना शब्दस्य वेदमात्र परत्वात् says अर्थसंग्रहः. Rituals are based on actions and they do not group change in their order. Rituals include sacrifices, worship rites, and rites of passage. Dharma and karma are many a time used as interchangeable terms because of this definition of Purva Mimamsa. The ideal, of the Vaisheshika. The ideal of dharma is not confined to religion. Religion is distinctly based on faith. Dharma in the form of rites and rituals believed to result in supra-empirical status is the realm of divinity in religion. It is religion. But dharma goes beyond that. Dharma has a social context within the empiric frame. It is secular. It has a moral foundation. Its function is to transform a human being into a harmonious being with a social value, such as fellow feeling, bandhu bhav. It gives rise to the ideal of justice and strikes a balance between individual and social needs. A dharmic person may not necessarily be ritualistic. He may perform Ganga Snana, that is bath in the river Ganga, or may not. But he is pure in adopting means to achieve goals which are equally pure. Dharma stands for his prosperity and the prosperity of his nation. This is reflected in the definition of the dharma of the Vaisheshikas. I am sorry that earlier instead of Vaisheshikas, I should have said Purva Mimamsa definition, but by slip of tongue I said about Vaisheshikas. The earlier was from Purva Mimamsa. That was already mentioned, but there was a slip of tongue later on. So, what about the definition of Vaisheshikas about dharma? They say, Yato abhyudaya nishresa siddhissa dharmaha. For this purpose, they say, dharma stands for virtue. Manu mentions 10 cardinal virtues as components of dharma. Dhruti, Kshama, Damaha, Asteyam, Shaucham, Indriya Nigraha, Dhir Vidya Satyam Akrodho, Dashakam Dharma Lakshana. Dharma has two dimensions, engagement in worldly life and renunciation. Shankaracharya says, Vividho hi vedokto dharma, pravti lakshana, nivruti lakshanasya. Both have value of their own. Pravrutti dharma, I want to emphasize this point that pravrutti dharma should not be considered as insignificant or of lower value. In fact, it is most significant as it simultaneously gives rise to individual and social well-being, prosperity of Vyashti and Samashti as well. Now we turn to Artha. Artha means wealth. The contemporary relevance of all the Purusharthas will be summed up at the end. So now we turn to Artha. Artha means wealth and worldly attainments. It is an instrument for the fulfillment of both dharma as well as kama. Kautilya, in his treatise Arthashastra, says the three pursuits of life, dharma, artha, and kama, are mutually related and hence should be resorted with equal importance. If one is to enjoy any one of these in an excessive measure, it is likely to affect the other two, as also it says. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, he who knows how to earn wealth attains whatever object he desires. And Vatsyayana, the author of Kama Sutra, says, he has given a very meaningful definition. He says, Artha is education, houses, land, grain, cattle, gold, clothes, jewels, friends, arts, gaining, husbanding, and multiplying wealth. That multiplying wealth is to be stressed. And he further says, farmers and rich merchants can teach it, but its greatest experts are kings, taxmen. Importance of material prosperity, individual and collective, has been acknowledged by the scriptures, Dharma Shastras, and also in the ancient secular literature in India. The Atharva Veda tells us, earn with 100 hands and distribute with 1,000 hands. Shatahasta Samahara Sahasrahasta Sankirai. The Mahabharata underlines that wealth earned through dharma is legitimate. That which comes through adharma, such as exploitation, is to be censured. Too much greed brings ruin, and too little of it brings nothing. Through wealth alone, one can fulfill dharma and kama and attain the heaven. Wealth earned through unjust ways does not last long. The king who oppresses people by taxing them against all the norms laid down by Shastra gains neither material prosperity nor merit, and he harms himself. Detachment from wealth is for those who seek immortality. For example, Maitreyi, the seeker of immortality, asked a pertinent question to Yarnevalkya in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. If indeed, venerable sir, this whole earth overflowing with wealth were mine, would I be immortal through that? Yadi me bhago yam sarva prithvi vittena purna syat katham tena ham amruta syam, she says. A question may arise as how to strike balance between the statements that adore and abhor dharma, artha. The contradictory sentences have contextual purpose. Acquiring wealth can arouse the noble cause of sharing or can result in oppression and exploitation. It depends on Vinyoga of wealth, whether it is for one's abhyudaya, prosperity, or for the abhyudaya of all, or for tamasic acts. The pursuit of material prosperity for a nation without causing harm and violence to its citizens is desirable, rather a must according to our tradition. However, the tradition wants, while doing so, if a large section of human society is robbed of the rightful wealth, violence becomes fatal and ruin is not far. Mahabharata tells the ruler the revenue should be collected diligently but without harshness, and they should also be spent diligently with prudence for protection and welfare of the people in every possible way. Wealth must be spent on works which are useful to society, such as constructions of road, waterways, irrigation, etc., etc. I am not going into that Purta Dharma which has been mentioned in this context. But for the progress of a nation, a king is authorized to collect from traders and merchants their surplus wealth for the sake of public use. It has been said, just as one who desires to obtain milk cannot get it by cutting off the udder of a cow, similarly, people who produce wealth should not be exploited. Beating, robbing, and fraud are prohibited while earning wealth. He who takes care of a cow every day gets abundant milk. Sri Aurobindo here in this context says the king was only the guardian, executor, and servant of the dharma, charged to see its observance and to prevent offenses, serious irregularities, and breaches. Now we turn to kama. Kama is a Sanskrit word derived from the root kam, to desire. Kama is the origin of life. In the beginning of creation, it has been said in the Nasadiya Sukta, there was kama, desire in its pure form. The Nasadiya Sukta says, in the beginning, there was neither existent nor non-existent. Kama, desire, was the first seed of the mind. It took possession of that supreme being in the beginning. Nasadasid no sodasit tadanim. Everybody knows that reference. Kamastadagare samavartata. The Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Kamamayam evayam purushaha sa yatha kama bhavati tat kratur bhavati. Yat kratur bhavati tat karma kurute. Yat karma kurute tad abhisampadete. Which means that man is endowed with desires. So whatever are his desires, According to those desires are his thoughts, and as are his thoughts, he does the actions, and whatever actions he does, that he becomes. When intense desire is directed to a particular object, it starts functioning with full force. In the form of a will, power, karma is the force behind all achievements of human race. The astounding progress man has made in all the spheres of life, from science to spirituality, is due to the willpower called as karma. Vatsayan defines karma in the following words. Kama is the delight of body, mind, and soul in tender sensation. It is awakening between the senses and the sense. I quote, श्रोत्रत्वक चक्षुर जिह्वाग्रहणानां आत्मसंयुक्तेन मनसाधिष्ठितानां स्वेषु स्वेषु विषयेषु आनुकूल्यतः प्रवृत्तिः कामः. The Bhagavad Gita says, Indriyani manobuddhi asya adhishthana muchyate. The senses, mind and intellect are the substratum of kama. On Darshanic lines, the Mahabharata describes kama as the joy attained through the contact of sense organs with their objects. It says, kama, this wishful conception of the mind, is the joy that arises when the five senses, the mind and the heart, are taken up with the objects of senses. That joy is one of the best fruits of man's action, says Vatsayan. In the Mahabharata, the revolutionary ideas about karma center around Bhima, who places it above all other Purusharthas. He interprets karma as desire for worldly gains and also as desire for sexual union. The former is more important in today's scenario. Bhima says, without karma, that is intense desire, man has no wish for worldly profit. Without karma, man does not strive after the good, that is dharma. Without karma, man does not love. Therefore, karma stands above the other two purusharthas. He further says, traders, farmers, herdsmen, artists and artisans work as they are driven by karma. On karma is founded dharma and artha. Whereas Vatsyayana tells the man or woman who knows dharma, artha and karma and acts with body, mind and soul is happy in this world and also in the next world. And it says one should never practice any one of these at the cost of remaining two. In the Bhagavad Gita, Lord
मॅम अनम्यूट करा.
okay, ठीक है?
हो हो.
So what I had said that I had quoted Bhagavad Gita that Krishna tells that dharma viruddha bhuteshu kamosmi bhartarshaba, that kama should not conflict with dharma, and Apastamba Dharma Sutra says that all such pleasures which do not conflict with dharma should be enjoyed. Bhima says, he who practices dharma for the sake of dharma suffers. He who pursues wealth exclusively, that is artha exclusively bereft of dharma and kama, deserves to be censured. He who pursues enjoyments without pursuing dharma and artha, he loses his friends, virtue and wealth also. He perishes like a fish when the water in which it lives has been dried up. And now we turn to moksha. Originally, the ideal of moksha was rooted in actions that an individual performs and its results that bring about the next birth. We find radically different perspectives about moksha, each one having evocative force of expression in the form of arguments, khandana and mandana. In the beginning, the ideal of moksha was simple. However, with the rise and development of different schools of philosophy, it became complex. Shvetashvatar Upanishad speaks of transcending death. We can say that in the Upanishads there is no word used as moksha, but Shvetashvatar Upanishad says atimrityu, that is transcending death. And if one transcends death, then of course there will be no birth. And we can say that in that sense, Shvetashvatar Upanishads has mentioned moksha. It says, Vedaham etam purusham mahantam adityavarnam tamasa parastat tameva viditva ati mrityumeti nanya pantha vidyate ayanaya. I, the translation English should be, I have known that great Purusha, the Supreme Being, who is radiant like the sun and who is beyond all darkness. One who knows him becomes immortal. He transcends the death, atimrityu. There is no other path for liberation than this. Concept of moksha swings back and forth between positive and negative aspects. According to the Advaita Vedanta, bondage being caused by avidya is unreal. In this system of philosophy, moksha is being Brahman. Brahma bhavasya moksha, it says. Of course, it is Shankaracharya's commentary. One does not get anything new in liberation. The individual realizes his ever real nature by removing avidya. And what is the moksha sadhana according to Advaita Vedanta? Avidya apagama matratvat brahma prapti phalasya. That is just the removal of avidya. To discuss all these things in the presence of Gauri Mahulikar will be too much, but I have to say these things. According to Vishishtadvaita, liberation is attaining a nature like that of the Supreme Person in contrast with the condition of imperfection. Liberation is not, according to Vishishtadvaita, it is not the annihilation of the self. The individuality and the sense of I prevails in the state of liberation. Ramanuja, the promulgator of Vishishtadvaita, does not accept Jivan Mukti. According to Dvaita system, moksha is complete absence of all traces of pain, evil, and suffering. It is coupled with a positive enjoyment of inherent spiritual bliss, Ananda. It is attained by divine grace. According to the Dvaita system of Nimbarka, in moksha, Jiva does not lose its individuality. It realizes its essential similarity to God. One who aspires, according to this branch of philosophy, one who aspires for moksha should worship Brahman. Of course, that Brahman is God. Mukshur Brahmopasita. Moksha is obtained through grace of not only of Krishna, but Radha and Krishna. Suddhadvaita maintains that liberation can be attained by efforts of the soul and by God's grace. The highest state in liberation is to join Lord in his sport and enjoy the company of Lord through love. According to Nyaya, Apavarga, that is moksha, they use the word Apavarga. Apavarga is not a positive state of happiness, but a negative experience of the total absence of pain. According to the Vaiseshika Darshana, in the final release, there is total absence of merit and demerit. Release is the state of absolute cessation of pain. But there cannot be happiness in liberation because happiness cannot be without pain. Sankhya accepts the Jivan Mukti. When Purusha knows that he has nothing to do with Prakriti, it is liberated. It realizes its aloofness from Prakriti. It becomes free from all sort of pain. Though there is no positive pleasure in release, there is undisturbable peace. And in yoga, there is also moksha for Prakriti. When she knows that whatever function she had to do for Purusha is no more to be done, it is fulfilled, there is moksha of Prakriti also. The Purva Mimamsa in the early stages had heaven as the ultimate goal. But later on, the Mimamsakas considered moksha as the final goal of human life. Performance of Vedic ritual is the only way to attain moksha, according to this school of philosophy. According to Purvamimamsa, emancipation is not destruction of world, but of contact with the world. न प्रपंच विलोयो मोक्षः किंतु प्रपंच संबंधः. So moksha is the pure state of soul. In that state, there is neither merit nor demerit for the soul. In Jainism, moksha means the modification of the soul. It is freedom from all pollutions and karma. It can be attained through the right knowledge. In Buddhism, nirvana connotes freedom from cycle of birth and death, annihilation of craving, hatred, ignorance, arising of prajna, that is knowledge, or sambodhi, that is transcendental wisdom. Now, there have been views of moksha as total annihilation or disintegration of self in certain schools of philosophy. There is an assumption that about Apavarga, there is an assumption that Apavarga is going beyond or transcend Trivarga, whereas in the Vedic view, Apavarga is inclusive of and also culmination of Trivarga. There have been understandings of Kaivalya as exclusive individual attainment, a flight of the alone to the alone, whereas in the Vedic view, it is a shared realization. On this background, the Mahabharata elaborates on the need and way to attain moksha without making it too complex. It says all human beings are in grip of human sufferings. There is no doubt that there is more suffering than pleasure. Sufferings are of two kinds, physical and mental. They arise from each other. Without the one, other cannot exist. Physical suffering has four causes: disease, accidents, hard labor, and the loss of dear ones. Mental suffering is caused by old age, loss of wealth, contact with those whom one does not like, loss of the contact with whom one loves. The two most common causes for mental suffering are craving, Krishna, Tanna, as it has been said sometimes, and entanglement, Asakti. But Mahabharata doesn't use the word Tanna, of course, because it is in Sanskrit and it talks about Krishna. That specific word has been used. Suffering is the absence of happiness, and happiness is the absence of suffering. But paradoxically, suffering arises from pleasure and pleasure from suffering. Both move in a cycle. Karma, its fruit, and also rebirth are secular doctrines. So is moksha, according to Mahabharata. Karma done with a motive behind it binds the doer. On this premise stands the edifice of moksha. The rationality of moksha can be seen in the chain of Krishna, that is craving, and obsessive attachment, that is asakti, that motivates one for performing acts. The acts generate fruit, and the time for the fruition of acts spills over next birth. The cycle of birth and death can be stopped by removing its cause, that is Krishna. And removing Krishna is moksha, that is what Mahabharata says. According to it, moksha is just removing its cause, Krishna. Thus, one can experience moksha here and now, Mahabharata says, in this very life. The query of Nachiketas, which we find in Kathopanishad, what happens after death? The answer to this question may be speculative. What one does in this life in order to shape his future should be the thrust behind the attainment of moksha. Moksha is not going. So this is important. This view, what Mahabharata puts before us, it is very important. It says moksha is not going beyond relations as the philosophical systems put it. As pointed out by Chaturvedi Badrinath, moksha is not denial of relationships. The relations are not abandoned. They are, after attaining moksha, seen in a different light. Hence, we find in the Bhagavad Gita the characteristics of Jivan Mukta in the garb of Sita Prajna. The adverse conditions in life cannot assail his consciousness. He is fearless and makes others free from fear. Having realized the unity in true sense, he works for the welfare of others. It has been said in Mahabharata, Atmavat sarvabhuteshu yasharet niyatah shuchihi amani nirabhimanaha sarvoto mukta eva sa. He is always liberated, perceiving his oneness with others and thus their unity, who is a friend of all, has conquered his senses, pure in his conduct, free from pride, is always liberated. One who has attained mukti discovers his relationship with others as well as with his self in a new perspective. What Ishopanishad says, one who perceives all beings in him, Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Bhut Vijanata, is beyond ignorance and pain, is true for such a liberated soul. Since bondage is due to ignorance, which is within an individual, freedom is also within. Mukti, moksha is also within. In this state, one goes beyond the polarity of dharma and adharma, truth and untruth, renounces the faculty by which one renounces the aforesaid, and the very feeling that he has renounced all these too has to be renounced. Teja dharmam adharmam cha tatha satyanrute teja ubhe satyanrute tektva yena tejasi tam teja, says Mahabharata. In this sense, moksha is freedom from influence of opposites, physical and also mental, from all that degrades one, from all that obstructs his growth, from all that obstructs his relationship with the other, from all that makes him recoil from working with others' well-being, we can say. This is why the Bhagavad Gita speaks about an ideal devotee bhakta as Yasman no dijate loko lokan no dijate chaya harsha amarsha bhayodvegaihi muktaha yasya me priyaha. He from whom no one is agitated, he who does not cause anxiety to others, who is steady in happiness and distress, is very dear to me. If there is bondage, what is the way to overcome it? Our darshanas speak about the tools to the attainment. Destruction of ignorance is common amongst most of the darshanas. Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, and Yoga are some other prominent ways. The Mahabharata once again uh, defines in clear words the way to moksha, while it says, and it is a very different way. It says, the conquest of ignorance, of attachment, of the greed, of anger, of arrogance, of false humility, having stability of mind, control over speech and other faculties. This is the joyful, clear, and pure path of moksha. Amudhatvam, asangitvam, kamakrodha vivarjanam, adainyam, anudiranatvam, anudvego vyavasthitihi. एष मार्गो हि मोक्षस्य प्रसन्नो विमलः शुचिः तथा वाक्काय मनसां नियमः कामतो अन्यथा. The point is that in the history of thought, there is a wide variety available. Therefore, there cannot be unanimous conception about moksha. It has to be perspectival and contextual. One should choose his path according to his temperament. Once he accepts it, he should follow it without distraction. Related to the issue of nature of moksha is the question as to who is the adhikari of moksha. It is dealt with exclusively in Advaita Vedanta. To value too greatly or too little a particular, that is, I am coming to end because there is no time to elaborate on it. So I say that to value too greatly or too little a particular Purushartha in its relation to the rest is to disintegrate the wholeness of the Purushartha ideal. They are meant to design our life, present life. It is not about the past, it is the present life that has to be valued. If dharma means right conduct or duty, is it relevant today? If karma results in performance of act that causes the progress of a society, it is relevant today. If wealth is earned for the prosperity and economy of a nation, it is relevant today. And if moksha is going beyond attachment and hatred, it is relevant today. While concluding, I must say that for this topic, Sri Dilipji Karambedkar has given me insight. इन मराठी इफ आय से, दिलीपजी करंबेळकरांची जी प्रतिभा आहे त्याला एक, त्यांच्या सगळ्या विचारांना प्रतिभेचा स्पर्श आहे, आणि त्या प्रतिभेला एक परिस्पर्श लाभलेला आहे, आणि त्यामुळे एखाद्या विषयाची मांडणी कशी करावी याविषयी ते निश्चितपणे मार्गदर्शन करू शकतात. दुसऱ्या काही संदर्भामध्ये त्यांनी मला ही, आपण इंग्लिशमध्ये ज्याला इन्साइट म्हणतो आणि मराठीमध्ये दृष्टी दिली, त्याबद्दल मी त्यांची सदैव ऋणी राहीन. अँड आय एम ऑल्सो थँकफुल टू गौरी माहुलीकरजी and Ranjana Naigavkar for all the arrangements and Atharva, and all these things will be carried further by Ranjana Naigavkar. So I conclude my speech here. Thank you very much.
मॅम अनम्यूट करा. नायगावकर मॅम. हा
हॅलो, येत
हा
आहे ना?
हो हो.
Thank you, madam. Thanks a lot for sharing your scholarly views on this topic, Purusharthas. As at the end of the Jnaneshwari, the Vagyajna, Sant Jnaneshwar prayed for the welfare of the entire universe, for the elimination of not the evil person, but of his evil nature. Similarly, Dr. Kala Acharya too, at the end of this 1 month long Jnana Yajna, has very aptly presented a great insight in the Purusharthas. In today's context, the application of which can definitely bring about a happy global living on this earth in true sense. So thank you very much, madam, for this Dharma Karya. And now I invite for the concluding remarks another eminent scholar, Dr. Gauri Mahulikar, who is Professor and Dean of Faculty, Chinmay Vishwa Vidyapeeth, Ernakulam, Kerala. As she has already been there in this Mahotsava and has presented her scholarly speech, you all know her very well. So let us welcome Dr. Mahulikar for sharing her views. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Ranjana ji. Wonderful lecture by Dr. Kala Acharya, my friend, my colleague for so many years. And let me first congratulate SSASP for this month-long intellectual feast in Sanskritotsavam. So congratulations to all the organizers, especially Dilip Karambelkar, Ruchita, Kala Acharya, and all the members who are involved in this. Very good applaud for you all. And now to conclude, I mean, who am I to conclude Kalaji's lecture? But then I can give some thoughts, which I have also been thinking on this Purushartha. Now, Purushartha Prakriya, people were asking me, I mean, I have also interacted on this and given lectures on this. So people used to ask me, in the Vivaha Mandala, in the Vivaha Sukta, for example, not Sukta, Vivaha Samskara, when we say Dharme Nati Charami, Arthe Nati Charami, Kame Nati Charami, where is moksha there? There is no moksha. So there is only Trivarga. So was there initially only Trivarga and the fourth Varga was attached later on? As rightly pointed out by Kalaji, Kautilya also speaks of only Trivarga and not the Chaturvarga. But then Chaturvarga, because moksha is an individual spiritual advancement, it cannot form a part of Vivaha Samskara. So that is why in Vivaha, mokshe nati charami will not come, but dharma, artha and kama, this Trivarga has to be an inevitable part of any Vivaha Shapatha Grahana. So this is the objectives of the human life as such. And these could be linked with the ashrama vyavastha in a way, so that the dharmacharana, because dharma is vedokhilo dharma moolam. And the Vedadhyayana, the Patana Patana, Samshodhana, all that happens in the Brahmacharya ashrama. So the Dharma Varga, the Dharma Skandha is more important in the Brahmacharya ashrama. In the Grihastha-ashrama, it is clearly stated, Prajatantum ma vyavachhetsihi, right? And therefore the Kama and Artha These are the two vargas which are very, very important and play a pivotal role in Grihastha which is apparently the yoni, the origin of all the ashramas in Hindu society at large. So dharma, artha and kama are met with. And then the vanaprastha and the sannyasashrama, moksha, the chaturvarga, the paramavarga, paramartha, that comes in. Because this moksha is from root mucha, to liberate oneself, to get freed from something. And that process starts right from the vanaprastha, when the person tries to withdraw his responsibilities of a grihastha, assigns all the responsibilities on his posterity, on his the next generation, and retires peacefully to give whatever he has acquired throughout the brahmacharya ashrama and grihastha ashrama. So vanaprastha is liberating from the human ties, from the ties of the grihastha ashrama, and giving more and more to the society. Most of us here, above 60, are in our vanaprastha now. So it is a giving to the society what we have taken from them for so long. So this is the moksha, and it culminates into sannyasa, where you giving also stops and you become so introvert and your own inward journey starts, and that is the real moksha. But till vanaprastha, I think everybody has now the ayushmana has increased, the lifespan has increased. So till I think 70, 75, I think all people can aspire to have this, all the four Purusharthas in our life. And I would like to say that Sayanacharya, the great Vedic scholar and first available commentator, I mean fully, otherwise Yaskacharya was there in Nirukta, but full commentary of Rigveda and other Chaturvedas basically by Sayanacharya. And he has compiled the shlokas from so many texts, from so many Puranas, and that compilation is available as Purushartha Sudha Nidhi, and that is edited by T. Chandrasekharan from Madras Government Manuscript Library, Madras, you know. And it's a very wonderful book. It is available on Internet Archives. E-book is available. So we can, I mean, those who really want to do more work on this can go and see that this Purushartha Sudhanidhi of Sayanacharya. There is another book I would like to suggest. Being a teacher, no, we are always suggesting books, reading books, and expecting others also to read certain books, right? So another book is Purushartha Chintamani, edited by Vishnu Bhatta. And this is published by Nirnay Sagar Press, Mumbai in 1927. And there is one more book recently published in 2004 by Hamsa Prakashan, and this is Chaturvarga Sangraha by Kshemendra. Somehow I could not get Chaturvarga Sangraha and Purushartha Chintamani, but I got the names of the books in some conversation on some group, you know, on the e-group, on the mail group. So I got these two books also, the names, but this Purushartha Sudhanidhi, I have downloaded and I have seen that book. It's a wonderful collection from Markandeya Purana, Padma Purana, then so many Samhitas, so many Puranas he has referred to. We know he was a great scholar, erudite scholarship that is revealed even in the compilation. So compilation is not a donkey work. It's also a brainy work. So I would like to say that these are the books which you can study for the detailed discussion of everything. And Sayanacharya has given the four Purushartha as a 4 chapters. He calls it Skandha. So Dharma Skandha, Artha Skandha, Kama Skandha, and Moksha Skandha. And then there is a Nigamana. There is an Upasamhara with an introduction, and T. Chandrasekharan has given a nice introduction in Sanskrit as well as in English. So the scholars may have a look at it. And I think this was a very wonderful occasion for me also individually. I benefited at large. Of course, I could not attend live whenever these lectures were arranged. But at night, after everything is over, I have listened to so many talks on FB, because FB, that will be there forever, and people can benefit it even hereafter. So congratulations again for successful completion, culmination of this month-long lecture series, coordinating with the scholars, with the speakers, and reminding them and sending them the invites and the links. And it's hell of a work, and I congratulate all those who have been up to it diligently. So with this, I will close my concluding remarks, and wishing many more such intellectual events for SSASP. Thank you. Hari Om.
Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks a lot, Dr. Gauri Maulikar, madam. Your remarks have definitely added a great value to the entire discussion on the Purusharthas. And now, as this is the concluding session of this Mohotsava, I now request the Honorable President Shri Parambedkar ji for presenting the presidential remark and enlighten us. Shri Dilip Parambedkar ji, Honorable President of SSASP, is also the managing editor of all the daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly publications, encyclopedia projects of Vivek Group that cater to a wide range of readership. He is also the trustee of Vivek Vyasapitha, director of Vivek Rural Development Center, and the founder member of Policy Advocacy Research Center, all of which deal with the socially driven activities and events. He has adorned important positions in various committees from time to time in the Maharashtra state government bodies, and was also the former president of Maharashtra State Marathi Encyclopedia Division. So I welcome you, sir, and over to you now.
Thank you. Executive President of SAS, that is Sanskriti Samvardhan and Sanshadhan Prakalpa, Dr. Kala Acharya, Dr. Ranjana Nayagaokarji, Dr. Gauri Mahavlikar, and everybody that is the present on this on the Zoom line, as well as those who are present in the on the Facebook Live also. Though Sanskriti Samvardhan and Sanshadhan Prakalpa is hardly 1 month old, it is able to take such an ambitious project of Jnanotsav or Sanskritotsav. Running such project for 1 month continuously, it is a very big task. It was only possible because the leadership and global contacts of Dr. Kala Acharya, Executive President of SAS, and the team that was backing to her, Ruchita Rani, Agarkar, Atharva Agarkar, and other technical team also. They have done an excellent work, so that everybody will get this able to enjoy this Sanskritotsav for 1 month. Every speaker, not every speaker spoke with knowledge and authority, but we are able to connect with the global audience through this lecture series, and this is the first step we have completed successfully. But as every successful step increases the challenges, because the expectations are raised, and we know that this Sanskritotsav has created high expectation from us, and we have to match them in future course. So we are planning many initiatives in both Samvardhan and Sanshodhan sector of the culture. As we all know and we have heard for a long 1 month, culture creates an ecosystem which connects man with the society, as well as environment, and as well as the cosmos. And there are various conceptual or assumptions in the various cultures, they produce various thought processes or philosophies which try to connect these four basic elements of the world: man, society, environment, and cosmos. Hindu culture itself has developed an ecosystem which tries to connect this with by what we say as a sakshatkar, or something uh, visualizing the connection between all these four factors. So we are planning many initiatives in the future, and I request you that uh, you will able to join in this our venture. If you register with our institute, it will be easy for us to reach you in the future course of action. Many more, as I said, many more projects are going on, will go on in the coming days. And if anybody want to participate in Samvardhan Prakalp also or Soshodhan Prakalp also, I welcome everybody, because we think it is a joint venture of everybody that is participating in this project. So if you register ourselves, then we will contact you and we will inform you about the various projects that we want to undertake. I thank all the speakers, our media partners, and all of you who have attended this session. And and you have become the part of our future journey, and you are part of our family also, because uh, parivar is the basic concept of our culture. Uh, it connects oneself, everybody, with the mutual love, duty, and respect. And with these words, I hope that we will able to do much more things in the future in this field of culture. And I will announce that our future course, uh, on every Saturday in the month of September, we are arranging a lecture for you. On Teachers' Day, Professor Dr. Parameshwaran will speak on Dr. Devasiya. On 12th September, Professor Arvind Sharma on 19th September, Professor Srinivas Warkedi on 26th September. Uh, so you are invited for those lectures also, and I hope and I am confident you will join for those in all those lectures also. Thank you for everyone. Dr. Ranjana, take over from now.
Yes. Thanks a lot, sir. Your words have always been a great source of inspiration for all of us. We are now definitely looking forward to participating in the future projects that you suggested just now, and getting more and more enriched in the projects regarding all these cultural thoughts. And now, as we come to the conclusion of this entire program, it is certainly the time to express our gratitude towards all those who contributed wholeheartedly their support to make this program a grand success. First of all, I thank the Sanskriti Samvardhan and Sanshodhan Pratishthan for taking up such an endeavor of a great quality, um, and especially the President Shri Dilip Karambedkarji, who has been a great source of motivation for us, as well as our um, Executive President, Dr. Kala Acharya, whose valuable concluding remarks have been enriching our insight into the subject every day. I also thank the earlier speakers who are even present today for their constant support. Thanks are also due to the audience on Zoom, YouTube, and Facebook, these social platforms. My special thanks to Atharva of Saptahik Hindi Vivek for all the technical support and also that entire team, as also the media partners, Tarun Bharat, News Bharati. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Sampadananda Mishraji, the director, Sri Aurobindo Foundation, Puducherry. And I also thank all those whom the names of whom I could not mention here. I think there are some announcements now. The viewers, you will be provided with a feedback form through email. So do fill in the feedback form to help us better our effort. The form link, I think it is being displayed on the screen, will be mailed to you and will also be available on our website, ssasp.in soon. You may share the form with your acquaintances who have been following us through the Facebook and YouTube platforms. And also, gentle reminder again, all the courses that are being started here very shortly, those who are interested to join the courses, such as MA Sanskrit, MA Yoga, can register their names by 10th of this month. That is a gentle reminder. So once again, thank you very much. Atharv, are you going to display the leaflet for the further program?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yes, there will be on the 5th September this program, and all are invited for this. Professor Parameshwara Narayana Shastri will be delivering a lecture on the concept of Rashtra in the Vedas. So do attend that. Any more slides to show?
No, ma'am. No.
So here we come to the end of this entire program. I once again thank one and all, and let us meet once again for the at the future endeavors like this, and enjoy the feast in this intellectual world. So thanks again. Namo Namaha.